Welcome back, everyone. We're going from high speed and low axle to better axle but lower speed. We're racing as Peach today in the Special Cup. We have some pretty nifty tracks here. I haven't done as well, as you've seen. Some pretty beautiful art along the way as well. And these ones are pretty good, but they can be a bit challenging. If you're skilled, things will be fine. If you're a bit rusty like I am... And I missed the boost start, but it doesn't matter. Oh, come on! I reckon they just go out of your way to ram you. Black mark against the coin system. Very big black mark, I've pointed out, is a problem with the game for a long time. It's also a problem with the original. But we have bounced back pretty well, I'd say. And we nearly ran into our own shells. That was actually pretty dumb on my part. We've got Donkey Kong right on our tail. But I think he's driven into an obstacle. So I do like the background graphics for this though. It's a very impressive stage. You can see the volcano erupting if you do actually get the time to settle down and watch. And that will spew out the rocks that appear in certain areas. Alright, what can I steal? A red shell. Always handy. Now, as you'll see, things are a bit crisper and tighter in the handling department with Peach. Now, of course, there's a lightning bolt. Of course, I can still stuff things up, so... Just be careful going around these turns because this will bounce you back to an earlier part of the track if you land on them at the wrong time and swing the wrong way. And let's just spite Donkey Kong by dropping that red shell there. And despite some occasional slightly shonky driving, we've actually done pretty well on the first track. It has some of the best background graphics in the game, I think. While it's not always a favourite, it can be a bit irritating with the heavier characters. It really is pretty well designed. It's a good starting challenge. And now we've got Broken Pier. Watch out for the boos. If you drive into a boo, they'll steal your coins and work like you'd been affected by a regular boo. But these background graphics are actually reused for the Ghost Valley tracks, and there are some coins over there we can grab too. So don't go down the centre of the track. Whoa! Oh no. Well, Donkey Kong I think was possessed by a ghost and ran into me. That was certainly interesting. Whoops, nearly drove down another gap there. Get off my tail, Bowser. I think he got shot. There is a shortcut. Oh no, I jumped over the... Whoa. Well, that went strange. Okay, so if we line ourselves up, we can boost through here. And I need to start driving a lot better. No word of a lie. Peach is good to drive as. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to ram Bowser out of the picture. I don't want mushrooms, I want red shells. Mushrooms screw up my handling too much. Bowser's fat ass. Yeah, you get possessed, Bowser. That was actually a pretty smooth turn. Nice work, Peach. We will drop that. And Bowser runs into our banana peel just as a little bit of spite. That one's on me. That was not a good race. It's still a very nice track, but it's a little fiddly getting coins. However, if you do know where some shortcuts are and you can actually drive fairly straight, which I can't, you'll do pretty well. I think there's a shortcut there, as we just saw back there. And we're on to Bowser Castle 4. A fairly complex twisting and turning track. It can be fiddly grabbing coins here, but I'm fairly confident we can do alright. Just as long as I don't get thwomped. Because if you do actually get squashed by a thwomp, you'll lose 8 coins. Might have mentioned it earlier, but I'm just making sure we do remember that is a potential calamity. Sneak past the Mecha Koopas there. Miss the item blocks, miss some more coins. Unfortunately, the AI is very good at dodging green shells if they're off screen. Tried to get those coins, missed, not doing well. Oh, what? Alright, well this one isn't going to go off in random directions. That was a bit weird. Still, not exactly game-breaking. Swing around. Well, I handled that a little better than I thought I would have. Oh, come on. Okay. That actually worked a lot better than I thought I should. Than I thought it should have. There. And apparently the game wasn't happy with that little escape, so let's put a red shell there just to annoy our opponents. We have a pretty solid lead. Don't really like the background on this. On another one. Wow. Oh, I'm glad I made that. That could have gone really badly. So, despite some boos stealing our coins, as I was going to say, I don't really like the background. From a certain angle, it can sort of look like a weird mask. We've navigated a fairly long track pretty well. It looks very odd, just this sort of strange mishmash of pipes and things that probably wouldn't look out of place in some sort of Metroid game, in a Metroid game or something like that. It just looks bizarre. But we are on to the final track with Bowser's Castle from Paper Mario, apparently in 2 places at once. Welcome to Rainbow Road. You can use those bouncy edges for big shortcuts. I am not confident enough. It's a very fun track though. Just watch out for the clouds or else you will get electrocuted. And watch out for the jumps, as I was about to say, because you can very easily wind up falling off the edge. If I start going quiet, it's because I'm really concentrating. One slip up can be fatal on this. So we will get those, make a quick jump. It's just nice to cruise on this one. When you compare it to the SNES Rainbow Road, this one is so much fun. Whoops, letting the handling float out a little bit, that one's on me. Whoop, nice work, Peach. We line up for those. And we're already onto the final lap. I'd say this is almost a course that can be pretty good for all skill levels. There's enough space for you to turn, and you can be fairly safe about it. But if you're confident, you can back yourself on some big jumps. Kept missing those coins every time. That's a little annoying. And where's Bowser come from? And we've at least shot him. Nobody messes with Peach. Not however many he has +1 time anyway. And there we are, a pretty smooth run for Princess Peach, who then gets thrown off the edge. You see what I mean by the bad handling? Even the autopilot gets screwed up. Which actually brings me to an interesting anecdote. In F-Zero X, certain tracks are almost impossible for AI racers to complete, because they'll have a jump and a very sharp turn going, well, left or right basically. But the AI can't handle these turns because they're not used to using their turning in the air, so they'll fling themselves off to their doom while a human player can safely navigate everything. It is particularly funny getting one of these tracks and watching the racer count plummet down to 1. You still have to finish the race, of course. But there we go, we have triumphed and got a 2-star ranking. I'm really chuffed with that. I don't think I did well on Broken Pier, but Lakeside Park and Rainbow Road were pretty good runs for me. I'm happy with that. And now I'll give you a run through the credits sequence. You can skip it by pressing B, but the credits are actually individually tailored for each racer. So in this case, we're going to get a little highlights package of Peach. That looks like one of the Donut Plains tracks. I think Donut Plains 1. Oh no, wait, that's... What am I doing? That's Riverside Park. I'm an idiot. Worth noting, the Donut Plains tracks do use Riverside Park's background. So Peach is just sort of sauntering along happily, driving behind Mario. I think it pretty much varies. Depending on the character, you'll get different racetracks, so... And away we go. The autopilot might actually be a worse driver than I am. Very good work on the soundtrack, I have to say. It is quite enjoyable, and they did replicate the soundtrack from the original game pretty well. The updated graphics are nice, and you will notice that when we get to the SNES tracks in the next episode, because there are indeed all the tracks from the Super Nintendo game, that all the hazards have actually been removed. Now this was actually fair in my eyes, because those hazards didn't actually affect the AI, they just affected the human player. It was just one of the many frustrating elements designed basically to counter human players in the original Super Mario Kart. This one is not quite as bad. It's relatively cheating free and is very fun to play. Maybe a bit floaty on the handling with some characters, but it is nonetheless genuinely enjoyable. And we cruise around once again. Just waiting for things to wrap up so we can get racing. Certain name I'm looking for, if I'm going to be honest. Nope, couldn't see it there, but we do get thanks for the Super Mario Kart staff. They do deserve thanks for creating what would become a pretty impressive series, even if I don't always see eye to eye with Mario Kart. Hiroshi Yamauchi was involved with Banjo-Kazooie among several other games. It's probably one of the few names I do remember from the credits for that game. Random trivia, really. Ah, the good old days when Rare oversaw the Donkey Kong series. Mind you, Retro Studios did an amazing job with Tropical Freeze and Returns. I think if you want a good argument about video games being a work of art, for one, show them the sprite art of this, see how good those backgrounds are and how smoothly they transition. But do show them, and play for them, Tropical Freeze. But there we are, we've wrapped up the credits. And we are all ready to go. We've wrapped up the tracks original to this game, so next time we're going out to play the SNES tracks. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you out on the track for more Mario Kart Super Circuit.